Hello and welcome to NerdVsWorld, episode 26, Robonerd. I'm Brendan.
I'm Spindles.
And I'm Ady.
And we are joined via the magic of Skype by Neil from Chic, responsible for this year's Sci Fi Weekender. Hello, Neil.
How you doing, guys? All right?
Very, very well, thank you, sir. Yourself?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me along.
No worries at all, sir. We're all getting massively excited about Sci Fi Weekender now. We're only like a month away, so we're all kind of chomping at the bit, just waiting to go.
It's my favourite weekend of the year, apart from Christmas.
Well, I think I can see you're excited there, but I think I could probably do with about an extra 12 months to get my act together. I think that's the way it feels at the moment. So long nights in the office, but it'll all be worth it when the time comes, I'm sure.
It will indeed. So just for the benefit of anyone listening who doesn't actually know what the Sci Fi Weekender is, can you give us a bit of a potted spiel about it?
Sure, I can. A potted spiel. Well, let's see. Well, the Sci Fi Weekender is on in North Wales in Pwllheli, a haven holiday park up there. It's the biggest one in the UK. And really, what it really is, it's a mixture of a sci-fi convention and a massive, massive party of people having a good time and getting merrily drunk a lot of the time, I might add, all amongst like-minded people, really. So chance for geeks and nerds who like to let their hair down and enjoy all the normal stuff that they would at a convention in their hometown.
Excellent, yeah, definitely.
Sums it up pretty well for me.
What do you mean sums it up for you? This is going to be your first one, sir.
Exactly.
We're popping your Sci-Fi Weekender cherry this year.
I am.
Speaking from personal experience, this is my third, and that's exactly what it's like. It is a drunken weekend for nerds.
It is, but I think we've filled a hole in the market there, don't you?
Very much so.
I think it was a hole that was much needed filling, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there is, because you guys don't just do kind of sci-fi conventions. You do a lot of music festival type conventions, don't you?
Well, that's right. Yeah, in fact, that's where our roots are. Really, we were doing music stuff a long time before we were doing the Sci-Fi Weekender. But it was a bit of a spin-off on a tangent to do that one, really. But the background behind it, I guess we want to talk about the background behind the Weekender in the first place. It was quite serendipitous, really. We were working with a company called Future Publishing way back in 2007. And for those people who don't know what Future Publishing is, it's the second biggest publishing house in the UK, responsible for about 140 magazine titles.
Yeah, most of which I think I've got on subscription.
Probably, yeah. We were working with them as business partners for some of our music events, which are mainly rock and metal events.
Yeah, because it's stuff like Hard Rock Hell and Hammerfest and things, isn't it?
That's right. It was a really good fit for them with our magazines. They were hooking up with their editions of Classic Rock Magazine and Metal Hammer and that kind of thing. And they wanted a festival representation in the UK, and it was a good fit for us. And they were a great bunch of guys, so we worked really well together. And then after a couple of years of doing that, we were approached by the publisher from the SFX magazine department for the same kind of thing, which for us was, quite an honour, really, because we didn't have any really background in that kind of event. But, an event's an event, really, when it comes to putting it on from a logistical point of view. So we went along with that, and we launched the first SFX Weekender, I think it was back in 2010, I think. That's right, February 2010. And that was down in Camber Sands on the south coast.
That's right, because I remember that's where I first kind of heard of these kind of weekend convention things. It was the first Kerrang Weekender was down there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, these kind of things have been going on for years in different kind of different genres and demographics of people. But there's basically there's a weekender at a Butlins, a Pontins, or a Haven on every weekend in every different kind of entertainment genre you can imagine. But a lot of the time, they're the kind of best kept secrets amongst music and entertainment lovers in the UK. No,
I think they're awesome. It beats the hell out of being intense in a field for a weekend.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. The reason they stay so sort of under the radar, a lot of these things, is because it's such a big community feel. The way the whole thing's set up, that the repeat customer on it's sort of 80% or so of most of the stuff that we operate, including the Sci-Fi Weekender and all the music gigs. So you get the same punters there every single year, more or less, with a few extra trickling in and trying to get in their bookings in at the last minute, while we've still got we've still got tickets available, and it is that community feel that makes the difference. It's certainly, you can draw analogies between the music gigs and this sci-fi event, in that, if you used to go to a local gig in your local town, a music gig, you go down at 7 o'clock, you'd watch the band, and you'd be out the door by about 10 o'clock and on your way home, or on your way to the pub, or whatever. And for most sci-fi conventions in the UK, as good as they are and what they stand for, and of course they've got their place in that world, most of them open the doors at 9 a.m. and then you're out the door by 6, 7 on a train or in the traffic on the way home.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no kind of social aspect to it once the kind of day's programme of events is over.
That's right, yeah, because it's got that community feel. And there's no pressure because everyone's into the same stuff. There's no social pressure that you might get if you went out to a club or whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I really like about it, because there's so much different things that you can be doing of an evening. Because there's the kind of quizzes, there's big kind of stage shows going on in the main arenas. There's the screening room, so you can sit and watch horror movies till like 5, 6 in the morning, drinking beer if you want. The amount of stuff you can do is just insane.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it is what we like to try and refer to as that sort of 360-degree entertainment. So where we try to cover all the bases as much as we can all the time. So that you can't please all the people all the time with everything. But if they've got more than one option, then there's a good chance you're going to be able to tick the boxes for them most of the time that they're there. And that's what we try to do. Yeah, true. Really.
Absolutely. I mean, it certainly works
format.
it certainly works from my vantage point, because as I said, there's so much different stuff to do that I've kind of found it difficult choosing what to do on a certain time, and kind of ended up going to a particular, last year, went to go and see the showing of the Rocky Horror that was on in the screening room late one night, and then just ended up randomly doing something entirely different.
Were you wearing your fishnets though? That's what's important.
No, sadly not, no.
Oh, well, maybe next time, eh?
Yeah, well, because that was the thing, because we didn't know there was going to be a Rocky Horror screening before we went, otherwise, I probably would have.
Well, there's always time. I'll speak to the guys over at Sci Fi London who do the screening room for us. I'll see if they do another showing this year just for you.
Awesome, that'd be great. It probably will just be me.
Right. But you'll have to introduce it in full drag, Simon.
Okay.
Sounds fantastic, yeah. And if we can't get that, then I'll see if the lads at Sci Fi London will just put it on in the caravan for you.
That'll do.
That might be a bit suspect with just sitting in the caravan with the Sci Fi London lads and you and your fishnet.
And my fishnet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stranger things have happened.
Well, that's true. Actually, I'm pretty sure stranger things do happen at this event. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because there is all sorts of stuff that's going on. Because I mean, you did the Jedi flash mob last year, didn't you?
Last year we organised the flash mob with the Galactic Knights on the Friday.
That's right.
Success.
That's right. Yeah, it was a huge success, actually. A lot of work went into that from what I can tell you. It was really the Galactic Knights that kind of put it forward in the first place and put it all together and roped in some of our regulars into being involved. And it was a nice surprise. And I can't give too much away, but there'll be something along those lines this year as well. But awesome. I can't say when and where, but it will be a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, the Galactic Knights, they've been with us since the start, and they're a great bunch of people. Really entertaining, really great to get along with.
So, speaking of stuff for this year, what sort of things have we got to look forward to?
Well, we'll stick with we're sticking with the same kind of format because it works really well for us. So we'll still have the 3 arenas. We'll have the main arena where the sort of big panel talks go on in the daytime, and then obviously at night time. Our emphasis on nighttime entertainment is quite heavy, so we'll be having on the Friday night we'll be having our regular Imaginarium cabaret show with the Area 51 entertainers who'll be doing some weird and wonderful stuff, all hosted by the Professor Elemental, who I believe you've had or you're having on the show very shortly.
Yes, he was on the show last episode. Yeah, lovely man, lovely
excellent,
man.
Excellent. Yeah, so looking forward to that. He was with us last year for the first time, but could only be there for a little while, but this year he's going to be heavily involved in the Friday night entertainment.
Marvellous.
Now, on the Friday night afterwards, obviously, after we do all that stuff, usually it's a music-based entertainment sort of night, because everyone likes a party. But this year we're going with some live music on the Friday night. So I don't know if you've heard of Darth Elvis and the Imperials, but
yes, we have. Yes,
they've been on the circuit for a while. They'll be doing their set first of all after the Imaginarium on the Friday, and then we've got a classic rock band on doing some classic rock covers sets for some great sing-along stuff, which was kind of something I got kind of cajoled into by our regulars, who we call the Sci-Fi Troopers, which are our sort of regular punters who've been a few years in a row and that. And I like to refer to them to bounce my ideas and opinions off, to see what kind of feedback. And it was kind of them that said that they wanted us to bring that live music back into one of the nights. So it's nice and diverse for the Friday night. And then obviously on the Saturday in the main arena, there'll be lots more panels. We'll be doing the Just a Minute game show, which we did last year and the year before with Paul Cornell.
That was definitely one of the highlights last year, yeah.
Well, Paul's not coming this year, but the infamous Robert Rankin will be hosting Just a Minute this year.
There you go.
So it should be incredibly entertaining, I think.
Definitely.
It sounds like it.
I think so. My only worry is I think it's gonna knock the schedule out of whack a little bit, because it was scheduled in for an hour, but I can see it going on for about 2 or 3 with Robert running now, I think. But not that anybody's going to complain, I don't think.
No, very much not.
On the Friday too, I've got for the Lord's group, the Sci-Fi Troopers. I've given them. It's the first year I've done this, but if it works, it's something I'm going to do going forward. I'm giving them a trooper hour. So for 1 hour out of every weekender, I'm letting these guys put together an hour of entertainment to put on the stage, on the main stage. So this year they're opening with a very, very twisted sci-fi quiz version of the TV game show Pointless. I don't know if you're aware of this.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, that one, that's me totally handing the reins over with all my faith I've got in these guys who've been to our events for the last 5 years. And
it's pretty brave.
It is brave. But as a backup, I've got Robert Rankin presenting that as well. So it should all be good. I mean, the man can ad-lib for about 2 hours.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you could just have him on stage talking all night and the audience would just be in bits.
Oh,
He's brilliant.
That's right, yeah. That's right, yeah. And then, on the Saturday night afterwards, we've got... last year I had a company called from the Lassalgarian theatre, pub theatre as it is in Manchester. They did their version of V for Vendetta.
That's right.
On the main stage, which for me was a total last minute entry. It really was. We only sort of arranged it a month before. I had no idea how popular it was, and totally underestimated how popular it was going to be. We put it in the second arena, I obviously massively made a mistake on that one. So we've got them on the main stage this year, but they're not doing V for Vendetta on the night. So they're doing they're doing a show called Suspended in Space, which is quite aptly a show about 3 people stuck in a lift at a sci-fi convention.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. I think there's a writer, there's an aging sort of was famous once actor and an absolutely crazed fan stuck in a lift together at a sci-fi convention. So I think that's going to be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it sounds really good actually. Yeah, because I felt a bit sorry for them last year because I saw they did an excerpt of their V for Vendetta on the main stage and it looked fabulous. And then we tried to watch it over in the other thing, and there were some problems with sound, and I think, but I really wanted to see that.
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it being a theatre group as it is, they go from show to show, so we couldn't repeat that show, unfortunately, because they haven't got the cast anymore. But this one sounds really good.
Really good. Looking forward to it.
So they're on the main stage on the Saturday night, so that should be absolutely fantastic. And then afterwards, when we move back into party mode again, we've got Pat Sharp from the Funhouse DJing on the main stage.
Marvellous, Pat Sharp back again.
Yeah,
nice. He's always a good.
Whose connections to sci-fi are non-existent, but we had him at the first weekend, and the dance floor was rammed for 4 hours, and there was a queue of about 200 30-something-year-old women waiting to queue up for an autograph while he was DJing.
Yeah, because I think he was on at Sci-Fi Weekender 3 as well.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, in Prestatyn, that's right, yeah. He was.
It's Prestatingrad, as we lovingly refer to it.
Oh, no. Please don't give me nightmares. Come on. Drop it, lads. Drop it. Just leave it.
Well, come on. The event's like 6 weeks later than that one was now. It's moved like kind of right towards the end of March now.
It has, yeah. I mean, originally when we booked this weekend for this one, it was supposed to be a little bit earlier, but I was given the option afterwards, after the last weekend, I was given the option to move it to this date, which has obviously got a much better chance of being nicer weather. People have had a bit of a longer period to replenish their bank accounts after Christmas.
But it's right on payday as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and it is on payday. And I stuck that vote out to the general public to let me know what they wanted to do, and they pretty much came unanimously back as let's move it to the end of March. So.
You see, I was totally up for keeping it where it was, because then it would have been there for my birthday.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm more than happy to speak to the guys over at Sci Fi London and see if they can do the screening in your studio to make up for it if you want.
Marvellous. Beers and Rocky Horror one. Oh, last time it was Beers and Rocky Horror was my 21st, and that was messy.
And not in a good way.
That involved Twister on the stairs and everything.
Oh, man.
Sounds interesting. Sounds very interesting.
Yeah. There's video evidence somewhere. I
Don't
really don't ever want that
send me the
surfacing.
photos, all right?
We'll just bring the Twister board and a whole load of baby oil.
Oh, this is turning a strange corner now, lads.
Yes, it is.
Sorry.
We'll go back on track.
So, any other kind of major highlights? I mean, what are the things that you're kind of looking forward to the most over the weekend?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't get to see as much as I'd like to of the whole event because I'm running around in my version of a cosplay outfit, and that being a headless chicken outfit most of the time, really. But I suppose what I'm probably most looking forward to is probably the stage play because like you said a second ago, it was fantastic last year.
Yeah.
It didn't really get the chance it should have had on the main stage. I think that's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that the Galactic Knights are holding something totally separate to our normal entertainment. They're doing a cadet training academy.
Is there
down
some
in a
kind
separate arena.
Laser tag there or something? Cause,
That's right. Yeah.
Was that open last year? Because I couldn't find
it
it
was closed
anywhere.
last year.
No, it wasn't open last year. No, we didn't have it open, but they were quite keen on putting it together this year. I think that's going to be quite funny and quite amusing.
Yeah.
You think of laser tag, you're probably thinking of sort of kids and teenagers running around on a Sunday afternoon, but this is going to be full of sort of 30 and 40 somethings, I think, who probably have had a few beers before they got there in the first place.
Yeah, that sounds more like my normal laser tag.
Yeah. It could go a bit wrong, I think. Quite possibly, but in a very funny way. Way. But we've got all that stuff going on, and of course we've got the screening zone, which is running, all from sort of 10 in the morning till 3 in the morning with all sorts of stuff going on. Hopefully this year with another crap film and amnesty. I don't know if you guys caught that one last year.
I think I forgot to bring my DVDs in the end because I had a couple picked out for the crap film amnesty.
Yeah, I got too drunk on the Thursday night. Didn't actually make it.
I think last year was was it Ghost with Shit Jobs or something like that. I think was the one last year.
It was. Yeah.
So I'd imagine the guys are going to be inundated with about 200 or 300 DVDs of absolutely terrible film footage to choose from for the Thursday night. So that'll be entertaining to find out what's going on there. And the Sci-Fi London quiz on the Thursday and one on the Saturday as well, which everyone seems to take so very, very seriously. I think I may have to bring in some extra security to watch that one. I think
it was at Sci-Fi 3. I think it was. We kind of listened into one of the questions, and people were arguing about how many books there were of Game of Thrones versus American and British editions. And we were like, "Yeah, we're not doing this."
the quiz on the Friday night last year was so fucking hard. It was such a tough quiz, and then the Saturday night quiz was brilliant. But the Friday night quiz was just like a little bit too.
Oh, was it the Thursday night one? Because the Thursday night one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it was the Thursday because they were going to do like a kind of early quiz, and they were only expecting like maybe 20 or 30 people there, and it jammed the entire room. Everybody went.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were only expecting a few teams, and it turns out there was 84 teams registered on Thursday night. And we were supposed to be doing it in the restaurant next to the screening zone. It's quite a big area, really. I mean, you can probably seat about 200 people in there, but it just wasn't enough, and we had to move the whole thing into the cinema room and stop the screening of one of the movies.
Because we were in the restaurant and we were sat having a beer and going, well, we might do the quiz, and then all of a sudden people just kept piling in, and we were like, yeah, maybe not.
Well, maybe it's a bad idea to mix, a screening room, a sci-fi quiz, and a bar in the same place.
Oh, I don't know. It sounds like a match made in heaven to me.
I was going to say that sounds like an intro to a joke. But
I'm sure that's going to be great this year. We've moved the second quiz to the other night this year, so it doesn't clash with the stuff they wanted to watch last year. So every year's a learning curve. We try to change a little bit each year and make the improvements we need to make that the customers are asking for. Mm-hmm. And I'm always open to feedback from them constantly, actually. I can't keep up with it a lot of time. You know that scene from Bruce Almighty. You know the movie Bruce Almighty?
Yeah.
You know that scene where he's trying to answer everyone's prayers when he's on the computer by email.
Yeah.
It's like that a lot of the time, especially just before and just after the weekend. I'm answering the emails, as fast as I can, but they're coming in at twice the rate I can actually type my fingers at. So they do keep me busy. They keep me very, very busy.
I bet.
Which is great though. But it's good to know that they know they can sort of talk to us and that their opinions count. Really, we make changes to make the thing better for them. Really.
Sweet.
So yeah, this year should be the best one, I think.
Well, yeah, we are all massively looking forward to it.
Should be fantastic, actually. Yeah, should be really, really good. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Anyways, as you were mentioning about some films there, I'm going to have to push you now for your 5 films to add to our list.
Okay. All right then. I guess in no particular order. So I've gone for these lads. I've gone for these in not based on sort of technical prowess or and whether they've had a great review over the years for whatever reason, but just on the impact they've had on me personally.
Yeah,
really.
That's cool.
And sort of the times I've seen them in my life. So I'm going to open my first one with something that's nothing to do with sci-fi at all. But I saw it, I think it was 92, I think it came out, or something like that. I saw it at cinema. I didn't know a lot about it. I hadn't seen any movies by the director before, but I was absolutely blown away after watching it. And that's Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
yeah, right.
awesome.
Okay, so that was your first Tarantino, was it?
It was, yeah, it was. And I was absolutely blown away. It was... because it was all very, very intertwined and complicated, but still easy enough to follow in the end. A lot of movies have tried to do that before and after about having sort of multiple subplots going on that all come together at the end and kind of failed miserably at it at the end. But I think that's going to be the benchmark.
I think it definitely worked.
Future,
I mean, in terms of kind of pulling a narrative apart and then putting it back together on screen, it was something really fresh at the time that hardly anyone was doing. It's the whole kind of Vincent goes from being dead to being in a massive segment, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Well, that was it for me, really. It was, just the last sort of 20, 25 minutes of the movie was just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
It was. I think anything around that time that had Bruce Willis in was just epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I'm looking at my list here, and it's been sabotaged, lads. My list has been sabotaged. While I was away in the other room, the girls have written Annie at the top of the list, which was nice of them. Thanks, girls. Cheers. Yeah, and I think they want me to sing "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow" now, but that's not going to happen.
That's certainly not going to happen here, sir.
No.
What next? What's the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. The next one, and I'm a dad, by the way. I'm a dad of 2 kids. 10-year-old very boyish boy and a 5-year-old very girly girl. It's hard to find movies that the whole family can enjoy that cross between those kind of age groups and, a boy and a girl, really. But this one is, and has always been a favourite. And, I've watched it on my own several times. It's The Incredibles.
Yes. Classic film.
Good film.
It is a classic. It's an absolute classic, and like I say, my kids love it together.
It is brilliant.
Separately.
Yeah, my daughter loves it as well.
Over and over again. I have no idea how many times I've seen it or how many times they've seen it, but it never gets old. Never.
Yeah, it's a very good. I like to think of The Incredibles as a kind of kids' version of Watchmen.
Yeah.
I suppose it is, really. Yeah.
It's kind of what happens to superheroes many years later.
Only sadly, there's still no sniff on whether there's ever going to be a sequel. I think I read this week that Pixar are basically saying they're moving away from sequels altogether now. From what I can gather, which is a crying shame.
It's a bit of a shame, but it will keep things fresh at least.
Well, that's true, but I wanted to see what the Underminer was going to do. I mean, he did promise to declare war on peace and happiness, and I haven't seen him since. A bit of a disappointing villain, really.
The only thing I thought when I saw the end of that film was, did you ever watch the cartoon version of The Tick?
No, I can't say I have.
It's brilliant. If you ever get the chance, watch it, because there's the Mole Men, and I figured that would go down very similar to how the Mole Men incident went down in The Tick.
Well, fingers crossed. Anyway, fingers crossed it happens soon.
Yeah,
sooner rather than later.
Sure.
Although I guess me and my kids will never be too old to watch it when it does come out.
Oh God, no.
So yeah, moving on next, lads. Number 3 on my list. It's probably the most recent one outside of The Incredibles, actually. This goes back to my time working abroad in Greece back in 1999, which at the time I was working very long hours in the tourism industry, and I was totally cut off from TV, cinema, everything really. You never saw anything at all, and I had no idea what was going on in the world of cinema. On the very, very last night of my season there, everything was done, and I went into a bar to have a beer to watch a movie that I'd never heard of called The Matrix. And I had no idea what the plot was. I had no idea what it was about. I hadn't seen any reviews of it. I hadn't read any reviews of it. I hadn't met anybody that had seen it. So, you can imagine how amazing it was to sit down and watch that.
Absolutely.
With a beer in my hand as well. It was absolutely amazing, groundbreaking stuff, really. Sadly, I don't think they ever emulated in the second and third one what they did in the first.
No, they really didn't. I mean, the Matrix was one of my 5 because it came out the same year as Episode 1, and I just remember being so miffed at Episode 1 after having waited 15 years for it, and then out of absolutely nowhere came the Matrix and just utterly blew my mind.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, do you read any sort of analogies or metaphors in there to the modern world? I know a lot of people do. Whether it's got political undertones to what's happening in the world today or then, as it were. For me, I just enjoyed it for the action
For what
and the
it was.
plot. Yeah, for what it was. For me, it's all about entertainment and enjoyment, and I think overanalyzing stuff for me it takes a lot of the fun out of it sometimes.
Yeah, it
does.
I mean, it had me with the spinny flying kick thing. That's it. I'm sold.
I know, amazing. So that was the first time that was used in the movie, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
that was where Bullet Time came from.
Yeah, really amazing stuff. Really amazing stuff. So it made up for Keanu Reeves' acting ability, I suppose. And if they can do that, then it must be absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
Very true.
So yeah, that was my first 3. So next one.
2 more, yeah.
Am I doing well so far?
You are.
Very
You are.
good. Yeah.
Next one, Aliens.
Oh,
There we
yes.
go. Yeah.
Why the second one?
Should I quit while I'm ahead?
No, God,
that's a
no,
great
this is
film.
marvellous.
Yeah, Aliens. Funnily enough, I'd never seen the first Alien movie when I watched Aliens. So I didn't know the backstory, the back plot, or anything like that at all. It was just scared the shit out of me on all levels from start to finish. And, I'm not easily scared by horror movies or sci-fi horrors or anything like that. But that one, it had me in bed that night I don't know when it came out. It must have been...
It was the 80s.
Yeah, it was 80s.
I must have been
I think.
approaching my teens at the time, and I hadn't put my head under the magic duvet to protect myself from the monsters for a lot of years until I watched that movie.
I think it was
So,
86.
sounds right,
I
yeah.
would have been 13. So
Yeah.
That was it was just amazing, just fantastic.
It's an awesome film. I think Alien versus Aliens is the most contentious thing about the list so
Yeah,
far.
because I put Alien as
Yeah.
my top 5.
And several other people have had Aliens.
Aliens,
Emma Newman
had
had
Aliens.
Aliens. So yeah.
Yeah, and did you not think that's a bit more because you could consider it groundbreaking as the first movie, and maybe obviously the second didn't get a chance to do that because it had already been done. But from an outsider point of view, just to watch the 2 movies back to back, I think I'd always plump for Aliens.
Yeah, I think we've kind of come down to it that the first one was more of a horror movie, and the second one was a sci-fi.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it was more action, I suppose.
Yeah.
It was much more action in the second one. And I suppose a lot of that comes down to the special effects that were available at the time for each of those movies. There was obviously a lot more available for the second one. It was amazing. Amazing.
Truly amazing. Auto sentries just amazing. I love the extended version with the auto sentries. They're just amazing.
I know. I hear you still can't buy those at B&Q for your home security, but
Really? Curses.
It's a bit like it's a shame, really, but apparently not allowed.
build
Really.
one.
No, the only bit in that movie that I think I would rewrite, and probably a lot of people wouldn't. This is probably a lot of people's favourite bit is the very cheesy line when she's in the loader. And she turns around to the mother and says, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
Yeah.
For me, it's a bit cheesy and cringy. I think
It is a bit.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the whole thing was just amazing. And I think everything after that, I wasn't really anywhere near as impressed with, the movies that followed.
Oh, we've had countless arguments between me and Brendan about whether Alien 3 is a good movie or not, so we won't open up that can of worms again.
No.
It's not.
It really isn't.
It isn't. No, it's not. No.
Watch the director's cut with the missing scenes and the corrected audio, and it's a fantastic movie. It's misunderstood, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie.
It's lovely you talk about it like a naughty puppy that wheezes on the carpet.
I was just about to say something like that. It made it sound like a bad puppy.
Yeah, I don't think David Fincher was given full reign to tell the story he wanted to tell, but them's the breaks.
Yeah, we're not going to
I'll take your advice on that one, and I'll have a look at the director's cut, and I'll get back to you and let you know what my opinions on that one.
Great.
But I can't see it change my mind really, but open mind as always.
Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and your last one, sir.
My last one, you're probably never going to guess it, and this is from before I was born. But I remember when I watched it as a kid, and I must have been about 5 or 6 years old at the time. Nothing had been done like it before. I mean, looking back at it now, the special effects, are just archaic. But I'm going to go for Planet of the Apes, the original.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good call.
Because there was nothing like it at the time. The acting in it was absolutely amazing, and the plot was so sinister and dark. And there's that. I think that ending in the movie is probably one of the best twist endings in any movie I've ever seen.
Oh, you can judge how good a movie is by the amount of times the ending gets parodied, and God knows how many people have done that.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But it's the film which wins the award for biggest spoiler on the movie poster, because the movie poster is that final scene.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You're joking? I never knew that.
Yeah, the poster it's the Statue of Liberty coming out of the sand.
Oh, Jesus. Who thought that up? Who signed that up?
That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
It is. I'm glad. I think I did well there.
Yeah.
I'm striking Annie off the list, though. Right. Just so you,
Sure, we can always put that in as an addendum.
just so you know, he's not making the list. I'm not a musical fan myself. And if I was, I don't think it'd be Annie.
No.
Somehow.
No. Rocky Horror.
Yeah, there we go. Back to that again, are we?
Cool. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, sir.
No problem at all.
It's been excellent, and as I say, we are massively, massively looking forward to coming along, so we shall hopefully hook up and have a beer with you over the weekend, sir.
Several, I hope, lads, several.
Hopefully
for
so.
sure.
Hopefully
Anyways,
so, sir.
good luck with all the rest of the organisation. Hope it all goes swimmingly, and we shall look forward to seeing you there.
Lovely, thanks for having me on, lads.
All right, mate, no worries at all.
Speak to you soon.
So, yes, thanks again to Neil for that, and just in case you didn't know, we are still running the Sci Fi Weekender competition, as long as you listen to this on the Friday. If you're listening to this after Friday, is it the 28th?
Yeah.
Yeah, after Friday the 28th of February at 10 p.m, the competition will have closed. But if you're listening to it before then get online
quick.
and get sharing and winning and stuff, because we still have stuff to give away. We've got 50 pairs of day passes for the Weekender, so not including accommodation, but entry to all the events and so forth that are going on. And we also have one big prize of 4 weekend tickets with accommodation for the whole Weekender. So go on our Facebook page, follow the link there to go to the application, and give us your phone number, email and name, and share the page, and then enter a chance to win free stuff.
Indeed.
And then we'll see you there, hopefully. Anyone who's there, come along, find us, buy us beer.
Or rum.
Or run in
yeah.
fear, yes. Buy beer, run in fear. Either one works. So, yes, anyways, other stuff that's been going on.
It's been
Heck of a
quite
week.
an eventful fortnight. In fact, we've had new trailers, we've had new announcements for casting decisions, we've had all sorts of stuff going on.
Indeed, we have. There's been happy and a side order of sad.
Sad.
Which,
Yes.
yeah.
And real sad news as well.
I guess we'll kind of address that first, I would say, and then we'll pick it up a bit later.
Yeah. Harold Ramis passed away at 69, which is tremendously sad.
Terrible
It is
An
loss.
absolute horrible loss to everything. I mean, Ghostbusters was a film that so utterly terrified me as a 6-year-old that it took me 3 attempts
To watch
before I watched it. No, fully. It was only on the 3rd attempt that I actually watched the entire thing all the way through. I bailed early at the previous 2 attempts.
Was it the gatekeeper that scared you?
No, one was the dog breaking out of the statue.
The tow dogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other was the fridge.
Of course, yes.
So yeah, those scared the shit out of me.
Fair.
But it's not just Ghostbusters for me. For me, the films that he wrote that were massive in my upbringing were Groundhog Day and Animal House.
Animal House for me,
fuck yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That kind of it was one of the films I watched God knows how many times as a
As a
teenager.
yes, as did I.
That was an amazing film. It had such amazing performances.
Yeah.
In it. And the cast on it was insane. I think have we actually spoken about Animal House before?
I don't
No,
think
I don't think we have, but
It feels like a familiar conversation. But it's just
probably you and
John
I.
Belushi is
John
just
Belushi,
stunning as Bluto in that film.
Donald
He's
Sutherland.
so good. Donald
Yes,
Sutherland, yeah.
indeed.
As I say, the cast in it is
It's
insane.
fantastic.
And I believe it's
Wasn't
very
Will
young
Shatner?
Kevin Bacon in it
Yes,
as
it
well.
is,
As the thank you, sir, may I have another?
yeah.
It's Kevin Bacon.
That's been the cause of many a personal injury, to be fair. Trying to emulate the several things of that when in a drunken state.
Now, there's one thing about Animal House that this is only for me because I had it on video and the video ran out before the last 5 minutes of the film.
Man.
So every time I watched it, it got to the point where they're on the float and they're like driving around and then it just cuts out. So I never see the end of the film.
For me, the bit that sticks with me is when they're in the canteen. John Belushi stuffs his face with
I'm a
marshmallows.
zit.
I'm
Get
a
it?
zit.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
But I would say that without Animal House, you wouldn't have any of the 90s rite of passage movies like American Pie or Road Trip. You certainly wouldn't have films like Van Wilder.
Yeah.
You know,
It's that college party movie.
It is, yeah.
It was definitely... it was a massive influence on me when I was a kid. It's such a cracking movie. And some of the other ones that he did earlier on are some that I've kind of seen a couple of times, like Caddyshack. And
Yeah, that
Stripes,
was great. Yeah.
which, again, it's all Bill Murray. Bill Murray's just... the early stuff he did was amazing.
yeah, I would say the Groundhog Day is probably Bill Murray's best performance in the film, I think.
One of the, I love Lost in Translation, but in terms of comedic performances,
yes.
most definitely. Groundhog Day is just a cracking movie. So, yeah, an absolute shame.
Yeah.
Because I know we've spoken in the past about the kind of the possibility of a Ghostbusters 3, and it's just sad now that that's probably
Never going to happen with the original cast.
No. So, that makes me very, very sad.
Yeah, same. So,
But
will be missed.
yes, so you will be missed, sir. Oh, sad times. Anyways, other announcements. We've had a couple of casting announcements for Constantine. Now I can't remember the guy's name. Can you remember it?
Nope.
The only thing I know is I think he's Welsh.
He's Welsh, and he was in the Criminal Minds spin-off. Suspect
Yes,
Behaviour.
he was in Suspect Behaviour,
Which
and
we
he was
spoke
also
about.
in one episode of Criminal Minds as well, which was the kind of backdoor pilot that they did for Suspect Behaviour.
Which we've spoken about before, which is a
We have
fucking
indeed.
awesome show.
It is an
You should
awesome
definitely
show,
watch
but
it.
unfortunately only lasted one season, the spin-off, which was a shame. Got Forrest Whitaker in that as well.
Forrest
wasn't it?
Whitaker, Janine Garofalo.
Oh, yes, Janine Garofalo. I love her. She's awesome. Everything she's in, she's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's why I put Reality Bites in my top 5.
Yeah.
And we had the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer as well.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Which looks like it is just going to be so much fun.
Yes. I'm very much looking forward to this
That's a
film.
much better trailer than the first one they pumped out, and it's made me a little bit more excited about it, to be fair.
I think Rocket Raccoon is
It's
going to
gonna
be
be-
everybody's
yes.
favourite
Yes,
character
it
by
is.
the end of the year.
Ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I'm surprised they haven't started selling the fucking puppets and fucking teddy bears of it already.
They kind of have, because that's how people knew about some of the big enemies. That was basically because of merchandising. Also, because they released a Red Skull doll for Captain America 2 as well.
Yeah, so is Hugo Weaving back
No,
again?
he's not. But I think Robert Redford's character is going to be Red Skull.
All right, okay.
Because he's playing a character called Alexander. I forget his surname in the film, but I think it's going to be the cinematic universe's variation of Alexander Luskin, who was the guy who pulled the strings of the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So I think he's a bad guy within S.H.I.E.L.D. that is going to be the guy controlling Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Because Alexander Luskin was embodied by the soul of Red Skull, during their final conflict. So I think that's where Red Skull is.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reveal, because Redford has said that he's playing a bad guy in this. So yeah, I think he's the cinematic universe's version of Luskin.
Cool.
Which would be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they had the new trailer for Captain America 2 as well. I think it's starting to look a lot more, making more sense to me now, the plot of the film. So yeah, I think it looks like there's a civil war within S.H.I.E.L.D. essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's looking good.
Cool.
That's out soon as well. That's very soon.
It is very soon. Yeah. Is it?
It's March sometime.
Is it March? I thought
Yeah.
it was May. Or is that Guardians of the Galaxy? It's
Guardians of the
May.
Galaxy is August.
August.
Yeah. X-Men is May.
That's it. Yeah.
I knew there was a big superhero thing in May. I just couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, indeed.
And I love at the Guardians of the Galaxy, the poster for that, the tagline on the poster, just says, "You're welcome,"
Yeah.
which I think is great.
Yeah, I randomly found out one of my friends is in it as not just an extra, but she was apparently Karen Gillan's stand-in.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, very odd.
Cool.
Yes.
Claim to fame.
Yes, I think it's just because she was bald at the time too.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. Might have been it, might not. To find out, I have to ask her.
Yeah.
Yeah, another casting thing was Gary Oldman and Mr. Cumberbatch for Star Wars. That's been confirmed.
Has it been confirmed?
Has it?
I haven't seen anything from the usual reputable sources.
Right. Okay.
I have seen a couple of rumours, but
Yeah. Well, they said apparently they're confirming that there was one role and it was put out. Both Gary Oldman and Cumberbatch were coined for the one role. However, one of them's getting it and they're writing the other one in. Which way round it is, I don't know yet.
I do suspect that we will see a lot of erroneous casting rumours for Star Wars
Oh,
in the
yeah.
next couple
Quite
of
Well,
years.
it's like
yes.
the Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy.
yes.
Everybody was going to be in it
Yes.
at one point.
I don't know how I feel about Oldman and Cumberbatch being in Star Wars.
I think Oldman fine, but Cumberbatch no.
Cumberbatch
Sorry,
just
no.
appears to be in everything.
Yeah.
He can fuck off. Sorry.
I mean, he's great in everything.
Yes,
great.
but I
don't
just
get me wrong,
he
but
just
no,
shouldn't be
just
in
fuck off.
everything.
No, not. Yeah,
He can't be in Star Trek and Star Wars.
yeah. That was my argument.
That's
Pretty
my
much.
I don't know.
Look,
I
you fucked
I'd
up
make an
Khan, I'm
exception
not-
for like Simon Pegg.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. But you fucked up Khan. Don't fuck up Star Wars.
I don't think he fucked up Khan.
No, Khan was fucked from the start.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It wasn't his fault. Fine,
I
but
thought he was very, very good in
Yeah.
it.
If anything, he's probably the shining light.
Yeah.
In it. And yeah, just the response he got from Alice Krul's character when he squeezes the head
Yeah.
and it all mushes. Yeah, that was cool. But that film was just a bag of shite, which I've spoken about
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
on our
we
random
have.
episode. So we're just going to gloss right past that.
But I think that surprise casting announcement of the week for me was Jamie Bell as the thing.
yeah. Billy Elliot is the thing. What the
What
fuck?
the fuck is going on there?
Yeah, that was a bit odd.
yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I looked at the whole casting thing for.
And it's just like, what?
Yeah. Fantastic Four casting, so they don't really give a shit about that success, do they? It's like,
No.
No, they obviously don't.
well, they had to do something so quickly, otherwise the license would have reverted back to Marvel. So I think they literally have just picked 4 names out of a hat. They go, we've got a cast, we've got a script. On
They're
the back
free,
of,
yeah.
on the back of this napkin, we have a script.
Let's.
Let's do their origin story again.
Yeah.
the castings on the napkin.
You know it's going to be another origin
Oh,
story.
Yeah,
fuck's
yeah, it's
sake.
going to be awful again.
Because there's rumours of a female Doctor Doom as well.
God.
What, really?
Well, I mean, it can't. Well, it could be as bad as the first one, but my major problem with the last Fantastic Four Genesis movie was how they took Doctor Doom and reduced his entire backstory to "he stole my girlfriend." Wow.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so not holding out much hope for that.
You really can't make it any worse than that, I don't think.
It's true.
But
I'll hold out for that.
I won't go on record and say
No, I'm going to hold out
just
for
in
that.
case they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my what the fuck casting moment of the week.
Yes.
What other news have we had? Farscape.
Yeah.
Farscape coming back.
That's
Holy
sounding
fuck.
particularly fucking awesome.
From what I've read about it, I'm not sure how much of the original cast it's going to be because it's about their son.
Yeah. Definitely Aaron's son and Crichton are going to be back in it. However, they're not really looking at bringing in.
But there's definitely Moyer, I think, because I think the plot is
but it's not going to be
somebody is after their son, and so they go onto Moyer and hightail it off somewhere.
Yeah.
But apparently it's like 19 years after the Peacekeeper Wars.
Yes.
That'll be
But
fun.
they've hidden him on Earth because of the amalgamation.
But from the sounds of it, Brian Henson's involved, and the guy who wrote a lot of the original series is involved. So
pretty awesome.
Very, very happy with that. Farscape was one of those programs that I never really got into at first. I saw random episodes of it, and having gone back and watched it all from the start, it made a lot more sense because I think I started watching it at the point where, and fuck spoilers, where there were two Crichtons.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that I just had no fucking clue what was going on. It's like, he's totally different to the guy the other week. Yeah. Well, no, because I didn't have a clue that there were two of them because I hadn't been watching it. And it was just like, that's nothing like the guy who was playing, like, what? And then it all just seemed every week to just be him being like off his face on something and going, with like weird kind of shaky cams. It just didn't make any sense at all. But then when I went back and watched it from the start, it was awesome.
Yeah. So that's cool. Another returning is Heroes.
Heroes
is coming back with a miniseries.
I hope he makes it like season 1.
Yeah.
And not like any of the others, because season 1, awesome. The rest of it, not so awesome.
See, the first half of season 2, written before the writer's strike, also awesome. Everything else.
Everything afterwards.
After that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
They tried to retcon themselves. They ruined the character of Sylar.
They ruined the character of Peter. They ruined the character of Hero. They basically ruined all their major characters. Yeah. And that just sucked because I think they basically went, well, these 3 characters are massively powerful and everyone else isn't. So therefore, we'll either take their powers away or fuck them up in some way so they're not as powerful. And that just sucked.
Yeah, I still can't even... When I do a Heroes rewatch, I still can't go past episode 13.
I've never even attempted a Heroes rewatch.
No, I haven't. To be fair.
I don't think I would. I'll watch a reboot.
Watch the new,
with great interest. I'll watch
is it a reboot or is it a next generation?
At this point, no clue. Absolutely no clue. Because I know the guy who played Hero went on Twitter going like, "Oh, should I get the sword out again?" He doesn't know anything about it either.
It's going to be interesting to find out, though. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, it will, yeah. I'm interested to see where they go with it and what they do.
Yeah. Other rumoured stuff is that Sci Fi have optioned the rights to DMZ.
Okay.
To possibly do we're going to be inundated with graphic novel TV spin-offs. It's not going to launch in this fall's selection. I don't even think it'll be 2015, but soon there will be a DMZ TV show coming.
Cool.
Which would be interesting.
Yeah,
that's a very good graphic novel. What else? Oh, also Sue Hadrell from Rule 32 won a competition to be immortalised as a judge
in
fucking brilliant.
So,
fair play. She would make a very good judge.
Yeah. So that is amazing.
Yeah, and congratulations.
I can see her as a 4-foot ass kicker. So, yeah. Well done, Sue. We are so jealous right now.
We
are massively jealous. But well done.
And next time we see you, we want signed copies.
And I think Judge Cherry Bomb is definitely the name we should go for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of it.
Well, those are the big announcements.
Those are the highlights
There's
of
other
the
stuff we could
fortnight.
ramble about. I mean, I know we were kind of looking at some gadgety stuff because is it the S5?
The S5 is released,
So basically everyone's
this
gone, nah.
yeah, pretty much. There's nothing,
It's basically just a spit and shine on the last model, which
Pretty
is what
much,
the last model
yeah.
was. So, yeah. Samsung, not so.
No.
Not so exciting.
Have you heard about the Nokia thing? Microsoft.
Sorry, who?
Well, Microsoft buying Nokia out.
Used to be phones years ago.
And Nokia are going, well, you know what? You're buying us out, fuck you. And they've completely redone all their handsets to go with Android.
Okay.
Just before they'd taken over, literally like days before they take over, they've just reconfigured the whole fucking lot so it only runs on Android.
Okay.
As a fuck you to Microsoft.
That's fair enough.
Which is, that's hats off to them for doing that.
I suppose the other big kind of news in that arena is the Facebook WhatsApp buyout, which basically I think most WhatsApp users have rage quit and gone somewhere else now, from what I can see online.
I don't know why.
I have no idea.
It's a perfectly serviceable app.
It's still free.
Indeed, yeah. It just seems that everybody's just gone, no, fuck you, Facebook. You're not having that too.
It's I'm quite happy not
Well,
paying
I don't even use WhatsApp, so
I'm quite happy
no
not
idea.
paying for text messages.
Yeah.
But I don't pay for text messages.
No, anyway, but
on my contract. But
indeed.
There's a BuzzFeed list about that as well. Sort of like all these companies that are worth less than WhatsApp is like EA Activision is worth less than WhatsApp. I'm trying to think of some of the others.
And there's only something like 30 employees in the company. I read.
It's like £15 billion,
Yeah.
wasn't it? So
$15 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane amounts of money.
It is.
ridiculous amounts of cash.
It's because of the potential of it.
Gonna offer me how much for my app? I'm sorry.
Fuck yes!
You have been mistaken with a small country. It's rather too much money.
Island off the Galapagos. Yeah, it's just
Stupid. It's mind-boggling.
It is.
There's been some crazy out because there was the guy who made that Flappy Bird app.
Fucking what? Yeah, what? What the fuck?
My high score on Flappy Bird is 3.
Yeah, but people were paying $7,000 for a fucking iPhone that had it on it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
In the world.
Seriously.
The world is fucking nuts.
Fucking wake the fuck up and stop using your iPhone.
Yeah.
For starters.
Yeah, the world has gone slightly skewed in what its priorities are.
Yeah.
You know. But hey, there you go.
Whatever.
Weird. Oh well. Anyways, I guess that's probably about us for this week then. Cool.
Yeah, we're spent.
So, Ady, do you want to talk us through the track we're going out with today?
Okay, yep. So this week's track is brought to you by a friend and fan of the show, OP21. Shut You Out. One of the 4 tracks that's available on their line. We'll put the link into you at the end of the show. I particularly quite like the way they're Portishead sounding.
Yeah, cool.
Is my kind of view of them. But
my kind of
listen,
thing, then.
listen, enjoy, and
awesome. Yeah, and then
do check them out. They should be coming to a place near you soon.
Excellent.
So yeah, I think that's about us this week.
So that's
isn't
it for this week.
So don't forget, get onto Facebook if it's before 10 p.m. on Friday the 28th. Highly to Facebook and enter the competition to win tickets to the Sci Fi Weekender.
Well, thanks for listening. I've been Brendan.
I have been Spindles.
And I've been Ady.
Until next time, take care and be excellent to each other.
Shut you out, but you're there every day. I try to block it out, but it breaks through. try to shake you off, but you hold on every day. When you're near, I just get weaker, and I know we're falling deeper. When you're near, I just get weaker, and I can't help but falling deeper. I try to hear you out, but I'm deaf every day. I try to slap you down, but you get up every day.